What's up everybody, Danny's here and we are back at it again with another video. But before I get into it, make sure you check out all the links in the description below. So, today, what I wanted to talk about is would I rather the Nintendo Switch 1 sound effects or the Nintendo Switch 2 sound effects though. So here's the thing, Nintendo has changed a lot of the Nintendo Switch 2. Then I don't know what the profile page is going to sound like for the Switch 2, definitely. Like that, see? I don't know if it's going to be like that for the Switch 2, but go into the home menu screen. If you press the home button, it's going to have a different sound effect though. So here's the Switch 1 home menu sound effect. So I literally do not know what the Switch 2 home menu sound effect is going to look like, but I already know what it looks like though, so I think we're all good for now. I think it's going to have a newer sound effect for the Nintendo Switch 2. So, to be honest, I still prefer the old sound effects of the Nintendo Switch 1 because it's kind of nostalgia, the sound effects though, but since we're going to move on to the Switch 2, I think that the Switch 2 will have some sound effects, but the Switch 2 will have newer sound effects. So the Switch 1 will have old sound effects though, even though Game Share and virtual game cards are only the new sound effects for the Switch 1, I think they're going to have the same thing for the Switch 2. So the Nintendo Switch 2 will have newer sound effects though. I mean, the same thing applies with Game Share and virtual game cards. Same things apply. So here's the thing. Nintendo is working on newer sound effects. I mean, we already know what the profile page sound effects look like though. But I wonder what the notification sound effect is going to looks like though. But we will find out soon. We will find out soon though. Definitely. I mean, eventually though, Nintendo does have to know what will sound like. But I don't know, because if you're opening a game, I don't know what the sound effect's going to look like, but I think it's going to be different for the Switch 2 because we've already had it for the Switch 1 though. But let me know in the comments below, would you guys rather the Switch 1 sound effect or the Nintendo Switch 2 sound effect? So, now that we know already about the Nintendo Switch 2 sound effects and the Nintendo Switch 1 sound effects though, they're kind of a throwback though, the Nintendo Switch 1 though. But the Nintendo Switch 2, it's kind of a newer generation though. Kind of a new generation of the gaming of the Nintendo Switch. But gaming generations I really like. But to point it out, I really like how Nintendo decides to move on to the newest Nintendo Switch 2 sound effects though. But I'm pretty much going to buy the Switch 2 because I think it's going to have every single feature it has, which is going to be really cool though. So, now this is what I want to talk about. Since we've had lots of games already on the Nintendo Switch 2. So, here's the thing. Nintendo is deciding to add in new features. So, Game Chat is like a new feature though, but you can use your Switch 2 camera if you have the accessory though, and you can use it to show your face or to show the background, which is a nice feature though, because it's kind of like that you can stream on Twitch basically with your Switch 2, like with a capture card, which is a cool way, or you can just stream on any platforms. But honestly, I don't stream on Twitch that much though, because I'm probably a retired Twitch streamer for now. I'm probably retiring from being a Twitch streamer because honestly, I don't use Twitch that much though, which is okay, because sometimes we don't become a live streamer that much, but I do live stream though, but not that much though. Not that much. Only once though should be a good way. But somehow though, I would rather Switch 1 sound effects because I really like the throwback of the old sound effects, but the Switch 2 sound effects is going to be a newer generation. But let me know what are your opinions on the Nintendo Switch 2 sound effects, and let me know what are your opinions on the Nintendo Switch 1 sound effects though. So that's going to wrap it up here for today's video. I really hope you guys do enjoy the video. If you do, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment and share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel. Make sure to hit that bell notification every time you get notified when I post the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace!